Oh no, we have another big issue that just happened recently, and it's something that has kind of shocked the GD community in a way, because it really only affects the Geometry Dash Demon List players. And to be honest, those players are a pretty big part of the whole Geometry Dash community, because after all, they're the ones that beat really hard demons and make the game, be able to reach many other people from outside the community. However, today a decision was made, and that's not your typical announcement that you would hear every now and then. This one is pretty controversial. I've heard a lot of different opinions from other people regarding this, and we have a kind of mixed reactions from the community. However, I do want to share my own thoughts about what I think about this. And if you guys have no idea what the heck is going on, well, the click between frames and the physics bypass has been allowed to be used in the demons. If you want to like submit your level to a demon list, you can use click between frames mod on your run and still have the right to submit your run. Now, what this really means is simply, you know how the game can run at 60, 144, 40, or whatever FPS, and the game currently, the way it works is that you can only click during the frame that the game is on. And if you click between the frames, then the click is just going to be delayed to the next frame, which kind of gives it this inaccuracy, which is maybe people may consider this as a input delay or just a inaccuracy with your inputs and how the game reacts to it. Now, this is not a problem when you're playing very simple levels, even when it comes to extreme demons like these ones that are pretty not so hard, but I still struggle on this one a lot. But when it comes to the very difficult levels like Bloodlust, for example, or I would rather say Tidal Wave, then this becomes much more relevant. And the reason for that is, you guys know there's something called a frame perfect in Geometry Dash, which basically means you have to click on the exact right frame to do the jump. So for example, if there was let's say there was a spike like this one, right? And then you have to click, and there's just one single frame where you can click and actually proceed through this whole thing. And now this is much easier on 60 hertz. If it's possible on 60 hertz, then it should be possible. However, with 2.2, everything got changed to 240. So no matter on what hertz monitor you're playing on, it's all gonna be 240 physics for the 240 hertz for the physics and 240 hertz for the visuals. So what that means is that there's always gonna be 240 different sections where you can click, if that makes sense. So in a second, you have 240 frames on which you can click, and you cannot click between these frames. And this is why we have something called a frame perfect, because if you have, like, let's say one out of these 240 frames is the one that makes you jump on top of the spikes, then that would be considered a frame perfect. However, with the introduction of the new mod, which is added to Geode, called click between frames, is exactly what it sounds like. You can click between the frames, which means things that are on jumps that are basically considered frame perfect now aren't really frame perfect, because the game now allows you to click between the frames. Now, I'm not too sure exactly how this mod works, whether it duplicates the frames that you can click on, or whether like the input is instant. It doesn't really look at any frames whatsoever. I'm not too sure, but for the sake of this video, we're just gonna pretend that the mod works in a way that there are unlimited frames. You can click whenever you want, and whenever you want, you click, and then the icon jumps, right? Without any frames being included. So what that means is I personally feel like this is gonna change the difficulties of many extreme demons, especially the very hard ones, because those ones are usually the ones that have the frame perfects in them, and those levels are gonna be much more difficult now. However, before I give my full thoughts about the demon list, I want to quickly make sure that you guys know that I'm a person who doesn't play very top demons. You guys can see I have like 2 extreme demons took me ages to do. But yeah, let's actually take a look at people that are in that position where they slay these demons up top. So the first one we have is Hover, who said that he's gonna delete his profile from the demon list, and he thinks that the website is beyond ridiculous for allowing something that is straight up cheating. That a website that usually only accepts legitimate completions, and he refuses to be ranked amongst people who cheat. So he basically sees the CBF, which is the click between frames mod, a cheat basically, and Nepesta replied with the exact same thing. And I'm not too sure if this is what is going on, bro. But I'm assuming, to be honest, now there's of course like a little bit of sarcasm in here, but I do think there's a little bit of truth as well in here, because Nepesta is also one that sometimes plays some of these very difficult demons. So I think with him pasting this as well shows that he also disagrees, and we have a lot of people disagreeing. And Twitter is something that works in a way that if you see something and you agree with it, you just copy it and paste it again, and then people will know that you agree. And then if you go to the replies and see everyone spamming that thing, you know that a lot of people are very, very upset about this. And Mr. Zoinky Zoink thinks that Twitter will be very fun for the next few days. And yeah, Twitter is going to flip and explode. And I'm pretty sure that the demon lists are going to have to change their minds a little bit because of a reason I'm going to mention later when I actually give my full thoughts about this. This is something that I like. Zeronium did something that actually makes sense. I probably want using CBF until it is recognized officially in the game or by leaderboard standards, but I definitely approve it being allowed on the demon list. So he is a person that says it is okay that this thing exists on the demon list. However, he personally will not be using it because he doesn't think that it should be used if it's not by basically like recognized officially by the game, which I think makes a lot of sense, to be honest. This is very similar to my own opinion about this situation, but we're gonna get to that in a bit. And by the way, this is something that I forgot to mention. I saw someone talk about it, so I'm gonna bring it up again. And the reason why the Pointer Crate, the demon list, decided to even add the CBF to basically being officially recognized as legit is because of a vote that they did in the community. So they asked a lot of people what they think, and this was basically the response. This was like a lot of people voted for it, and now we have it officially legal basically. So yeah, a lot of people were really upset before the CBF was allowed, and now that it's allowed, there are still a lot of people that are very upset. So we can see that it's kind of like around a 50-50 between people, because a lot of people are like really, really mad right now. And here we have Technical actually saying CBF being allowed on Pointer Crate should have very interesting implications for the community. I'm unsure if I'll use it, yet I'm really conflicted about the decision. These are great arguments for both sides. Yeah, I agree. There are very great arguments for both sides. Remember, it's important to be respectful when debating it. Bro forgot that he's on Twitter. But yeah, you guys should definitely be respectful, I gotta say. CBF is not legit. Bacon also does not agree. I don't know who this is, but he seems very mad. Okay, so a mixed response from the Pointer Crate adding or allowing CBF into being seen as an official and legitimate mod to use in your runs when you want to submit something. This is definitely one of the biggest changes that we've had so far, and personally what I think about it is it should not have been allowed into the demon list. And the reason for that is, firstly, something that Zeronium has also brought up, is we should use the game as it is without any external cheats or external mods or anything similar to that. So what that means is 2.1, the rules were that everybody can submit their runs that they made on their own hertz monitor. So if you were playing on a 60 hertz, you can submit that to the Pointer Crate and it would be accepted. And same thing, if you were on a 240 hertz, you would also be accepted. And there was a major difference in 2.1 because the way the game registered the physics is much different. It was basically dependent on your FPS, your hertz monitor. So now in 2.2, it got completely changed to 240 hertz for every single monitor. This is how the physics are going to act. And upon this, what the demon list has done is they rewrote the rules, and now from 2.2 on, you can only do things with 240, so you can't really modify the game into doing, you know, the old 2.1 shenanigans. So what that means is the Point and Create was kind of following along the path of where the vanilla Geometry Dash was going, and this is something that I personally like. However, now with the addition of the CBF to Geode, I have a lot of people saying that it should be added, even though that's not in the official game. I think the game should be seen as it is, and anything that, you know, interacts with the game or changes any memory stuff should not be allowed into, it should just simply be seen as cheating. Now you may say, well, it may be different types of cheating. Maybe somebody is no clipping is of course different than when using CBF, but still it's still illegitimate, right? I think we can all agree on that. And yeah, personally, I don't think it should have been added, but we're gonna have to see how the future is gonna go. We have a mixed response still, but yeah, I would love to see what you guys think down in the comment section, because yeah, that's a major change, like clicking between frames. And also I have to say, if someday RobTop decides to add that into Geometry Dash, awesome, that would be incredible. If RobTop decides to do that, I'm gonna trust, because whatever RobTop does to this game, it's just always so beautiful, and I always accept it. So if it officially is seen by RobTop as legitimate, and this is very important, he not only does he have to see it as legitimate, but he also has to add it into the game. The CBF has to be a part of the official game, and then from that point on, I think people can use that as a legitimate thing to use. By that point would be using the vanilla GD. But yeah, that has been it for this video. This is my personal thoughts, guys, so let me know what you boys thinks down in the comment section. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys